It's a great honor to welcome to the show the director of the Office of Management and Budget for President Donald Trump, Russell Vought. Mr. Vought, thanks for joining us, Director. How are you?
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So we're feeling good. First of all, I got to say I'm thrilled you're there. I've been a big fan of yours for many, many years. I know hosts are not supposed to say that to people, but hey, I don't care. We were all hoping you'd get the job, and we're glad you got the job. So it's good that you're there, and I sleep very well at night knowing you're there. I'll just put it that way.
I appreciate that.
Are you feeling confident about the way things stand right now? I know the president is very frustrated with the Fed, obviously, for not lowering interest rates. And I got to tell you, as somebody who'd like to refinance his mortgage, I'm very frustrated as well.
I think that the president is still frustrated with where the Fed is and wants them to drop interest rates for precisely the reason that you shared, and hopefully we will see downward progress on that later this year. But we need it now. Families need it now. People who want to refinance, they're stuck in their homes at quite frankly, artificially high mortgage rates. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. And so, this has been an important debate, the extent to which the Fed has mismanaged its own portfolio and even its own buildings, as we've drawn attention to. So the president's been really, I think, getting this message out to the American people, and hopefully we'll see the fruits of it in the next weeks ahead.
The media, the corporate legacy media, was jumping all over the July jobs numbers, and they were jumping up and down to say, you see, the economy is not getting better under President Trump. And grocery prices are not coming down under President Trump. And you see, this economy is not getting better. What's the response to that?
Well, I mean, this is the other side was comfortable with 9% inflation and a stagnant economy, and this president has come on and done some very, very big things that we haven't seen before in terms of getting a handle on our trade situation, dealing with our trade deficits that we have with other countries, onshoring, and we're not seeing inflation. We want to continue to have economic growth, and we're going to see that as a result of the bill that just passed, the president's deregulatory agenda, any American energy that can be gotten to the market, freed from the requirements of the left. So I think we're going to have great job numbers. Most of the reports that we have gotten have exceeded expectations. And so I think you're going to continue to see that. They're constantly looking for something they could criticize the president on, but the reality is on the trend lines are all going in the right direction, largely with the exception of what we need from the Fed.
I mean, it seems like the previous administration, every time the job numbers came out, they were all government jobs, and they were migrant jobs. The inflation of government under the previous administration, every time a new jobs report came out, it was more government jobs. And now you're cutting government, so which is a good thing. I mean, obviously, that's a really great thing. We're also in the summer, and I think a lot of companies are waiting to the fall, for the fall to hire. There's that aspect of it, too. But you mentioned regulatory cuts, and that's key. And Director Vought, can you tell us about permitting reform as well? Because I know that's always been very important on your agenda.
No, it is. One of the biggest aspects of OMB is the dereg agenda. In the first term, the president gave us a goal of about 2 for 1, 2 deregulatory initiatives for every one. We did about 5.5, and then the president promised to do 10 for every one regulatory. We're on pace right now to do 30. So that gives you a sense of the scale.
30 for every one?
30 for every one. So that gives you a sense of the scale of what's just occurring just in these first 8 months, which is pretty breathtaking, and we're going to keep trying to maintain that pace. But we're going like gangbusters to get prices down and to deal with any aspects of the economy that Joe Biden gave us that wasn't freed up for the American free enterprise system.
In 200 days, with you being at the helm of OMB, Director Russ Vought is with us right now. It's an honor to have him on the show. And President Trump's leadership, the deregulatory agenda around energy alone has been amazing to watch, and the deregulation around environmental regulations. I was at the AI summit that Senator Dave McCormick hosted in Pittsburgh, and it was great to see the president there. This unleashing of American, as the president puts it, American dominance on energy. How critical is that, and how much work was it to overcome the regulatory barriers the previous administration put in place, and how important is it to the economy to remove those barriers?
Well, I think that we were able to move with lightning speed based on the president's viewpoints. One of the things the previous administration did is they literally looked at every regulation on the basis of woke CRT and also climate change. So you can imagine how many energy regulations would have been slowed up as a result of that filter here at OMB, right? So that's one of those things that we were able to instantaneously remove and allow for the president's executive orders to move very, very quickly. And then Doug Burgum and Chris Wright are doing phenomenal work at the Department of Interior, Department of Energy to get us moving American energy to market as fast as possible. So I'm excited for what's going to come. And the challenge of this administration is literally the extent to which so much is being done, communicating all of these wins to the American people. I mean, the One Big Beautiful Bill has so much in it that is going to be on its own would have dominated congressional headlines for months on end, and yet it was all in one big bill.
Yeah.
Just on all sorts of things, everything from energy dominance to shipbuilding. 2 weeks ago, I was in Philly at the Philly shipyard, figuring out how we're going to provide investments that will allow that shipyard to be a part of a huge American renaissance in shipbuilding. So on every different front, wins are happening, and I think the American people are going to be able to see this over time as they're able to pay attention to each and every new aspect of the president's agenda.
If there's one piece of everything that you've accomplished in the last 200 days, the president's accomplished, Director Vought, that has not really gotten enough attention, what would it be?
Well, I think the extent to which, and this would be a surprising answer because I think everyone knows the president has controlled the border. I'm not sure people understand that, like, there's like no one is coming across the border. I mean, it has completely overnight sealed off the border. And what was the most dominating issue of the last 4 years, 3.5 years under the Biden administration, we don't even talk about. We don't even talk about because of the lightning speed success with the president basically doing what he did in the first term. But, in the first term, it took him some time to figure out what were the levers you had with the laws that were in place. We had that. The president had that. Stephen Miller had that coming into this term, and we're able to do it immediately. And it's just completely shut off that as a demand signal for illegal immigration. And really now the work is underway on the basis of deportation, continuing to lead the largest deportation in history, and that work is ongoing.
And then from a budget perspective, would it be the rescissions? Would it be the getting in there? Would it be DOGE? From your perspective as director of OMB, what would it be?
Well, I think the extent to which I think the untold story for much of our work at OMB and DOGE is the extent to which there has been a paradigm shift with regard to the problem of entrenched government bureaucrats that are unwilling to get with the president's policy agenda. And, one of those, we used to talk about the fact that these employees are they're completely locked in.
Yeah.
And now the events on the ground have fundamentally changed with reductions in force, the return of Schedule F in the rulemaking to create a class of federal employees that are doing policy work and therefore have to do what the president is asking them to do, and ran on to the American people. So I think when all is said and done, one of the biggest things that was accomplished was changing that paradigm to make it so that a president comes into office and a bureaucracy actually has to listen to him.
Well said. It's been great talking to you. I hope you come back on the show and keep up the good work. Office of Management and Budget Director, Russell Vought. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Have a great weekend. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
The Rich Zeoli Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.